I just wanted to look you in the eye and ask you why you would treat me like I'm some random ass nigga.
You were just an itch I needed to scratch.
Your girl is an Issa Rae stan since way back. I was in my college dorm room watching the misadventures of Awkward Black Girl in real time. I'm talking donating to the fund. And I used to live for Issa's Ratchet Beast Theater. Only true day ones know about that. So, when Issa finally got her big break in 2016 with Insecure on HBO, I was sat. And it did not disappoint. Insecure was and is everything. And there is a lot we could discuss about that show. But today, we are talking specifically about Daniel, who was played by Elan Noel. Look, come close. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all see how fine that man is? This man is so fine that I used to have to consciously work overtime to remind myself that Daniel is the worst side in the history of side. If there is one who can't play his position, it's this with me. Daniel looked so good that I always felt like Issa was playing the out of him and taking him for granted. And don't get me wrong, she did. But Daniel was a petty, semi-ridiculous in his own right too. There's much to discuss. So without further ado, this is why Issa and Daniel didn't work. Roll the theme song, Aaron.
Black independent, strongest in women. It's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay now. I know that I'm worth it, so make sure to listen. It's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay.
When Insecure begins, Issa and Lawrence are years into their relationship and living together in LA. But Lawrence is unemployed, depressed, and emotionally and financially not there for Issa the way she needs him to be. And she's starting to emotionally check out of the relationship because she's sick of seeing this nigga couch every day while she's working a dead-end job, struggling to financially support them both. So she was sick of that Lawrence, but not sick enough to leave. But speaking of sick, it's time to hear from today's sponsor, ZocDoc. You see what I did there? In Insecure, a lot of drama starts because characters avoid tough truths until they can't anymore. Our health works the same way. You see patterns, characters falling into the same situations over and over again until something finally changes. Our health can be just like that too. Ignore the small stuff long enough and it will turn into big stuff. Sometimes we wait until it's too late, and that's when we realize the real mistake was not acting sooner. That's why the minute something feels off for me, I rather get answers now than let it play out. And that's where today's sponsor, ZocDoc, comes in. And this is a real candid thing. I am genuinely thrilled they're sponsoring this video because I always recommend them to everyone I know anyway. Because I have been using ZocDoc since undergrad, long before I ever made a YouTube video. And I legitimately have absolutely no idea how other fake adults like myself make doctor's appointments without it. I have been quickly and easily booking all my doctor's appointments and building my team of doctors using ZocDoc for years. And that's from state to state. When I went to college in Ohio, when I moved to New York, me and ZocDoc go like this. A free website and app where you can compare high quality doctors who are in network or who take your insurance, find the right one for your needs, and instantly book an appointment on the website so you're not calling a bunch of departments trying to find the right place, run around like a chicken with your head cut off. We are talking about in-network appointments with over 100,000 healthcare providers across nearly every specialty, including dentists, eye doctors, dermatologists, and mental health professionals. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, and who are a good fit for any medical need you may have, and who are highly rated by verified patients. You can also see their actual appointment openings right there. Choose a time that works for you and click to instantly book a visit. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, usually within 24 to 72 hours of booking, and sometimes you can even score same-day appointments. So stop waiting, stop guessing, stop procrastinating, and start getting the care you need. Go to ZocDoc.com/IlluminatiPop to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's again, ZocDoc.com/IlluminatiPop to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Thank you so much to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. So, Issa doesn't break up with Lawrence. What she does do, however, is start DMing back and forth with her high school ex-boyfriend Daniel, before ultimately finessing her best friend Molly into going out with her to a place she knew he'd be, where she then proceeded to get up in front of the bar and rap a song about her best friend's broken pussy to show off for man.
Maybe it's dry as hell. Maybe it really smells broken pussy. Yeah, just talking about me. It's really rough. Maybe it's had enough broken pussy.
Hell no.
Let me tell y'all something. If the Twitter timeline when Insecure was still airing is to be an indicator of anything, the Insecure fandom is devoutly committed to hating Molly with their entire chest and vilifying her in absolutely every possible instance with little to no grace for her, whilst dismissing and ignoring all crimes against her and any valid feelings she's ever had. And this is a perfect example of that, because was giggling at Issa little song and carrying on like Molly was just being dramatic and can't take a joke. But I know you're lying here, because imagine Imagine you tell your friend some shit about your sex life and confidence, and this bitch get up in front of a club horribly rapping a piece of shit song about your pussy being broken because she trying to impress a you know from high school when she have an unemployed boyfriend of 4 years at home on the couch. Look here, ain't no way I would have heard a bitch say this shit about me and not come to the conclusion that she hate my guts. You hear me?
Maybe it's dry as hell. Maybe it really smells broken pussy.
Maybe it's dry as hell. Maybe it really smells.
Oh my God.
That's her friend. Issa need her ass beat. You hear me? Dog, Issa is a criminal. And the same Molly she was quick to embarrass to show off for Daniel is exactly who had to cover for her when Daniel asked almost get a catch with Lawrence.
Like I wasn't just distracting your man right after school on your side, nigga.
What? Why are you throwing that shit in my face?
You fucked another man when your man was fixing his shit for you.
I can leave it right there because this is not a Molly and Issa video, but I needed to point this out because I hate the narrative Insecure fans have that Molly is the bad friend all by her lonesome. No, not in a go so. Molly got big issues, but Issa is a as well. Now, here is a fact it is important that we establish right now. Before Issa gets to cheating on Lawrence with Daniel, Daniel knows Issa has a boyfriend. A serious live-in boyfriend. He knows. And at no point does Issa tell him she has real feelings for him, wants to be with him, intends to leave her boyfriend. None of that shit. They have a few flirty DMs and texts before running into each other a couple of times before Issa him once and immediately ghosts him. And this isn't an Issa and Lawrence video, so we are not about to litigate Issa's crimes against Lawrence or vice versa. But if this video performs well, then we definitely can kick Issa's back at another time, because it was never crazy to me that she was over Lawrence, you know. It was never crazy to me that she found Daniel tempting. It was never even crazy to me that she fucked Daniel. What's crazy to me is that she fucked Daniel after she finally told Lawrence she was unhappy in a relationship and he started getting his shit together and they were starting to get back on track. But back to Issa and Daniel. Let me tell y'all something. Morality aside, I remain convinced that Issa did not have to get caught cheating on Lawrence. Every time I rewatch season 1, I'd be like, oh my God, Issa, if you could cheat, please cheat with sense. Cheat with sense. Let me explain to y'all what I mean. Daniel is the worst kind of side you could get, because him and Issa don't have no serious relationship. He knew this gal in high school. He reconnects with her post-college when she is in a serious long-term live-in relationship. She cheats with him once and then immediately stops talking to her. So tell me why this mother Daniel showing up to her job. Her job in the middle of the workday. Oh my God. You know how insane that is? Imagine you once stop talking to him and he pop up at your place of employment. Ew. Let me tell y'all right now, Issa eat his ass or she better than me, because first and foremost, if it was me, I'd have tell Daniel about the deepest crack of his ass for popping up at my job. And I have never cheated on anybody, but if I were Issa, I would have taken that opportunity from the second I see what the Rock was cooking. I see how crazy Daniel is. I'd have gone run into Lawrence to plant the seed in his head that my high school ex is insane and stalking me and making up a relationship between us in his head because he in love with me and he crazy. I promise you, by the time I was finished, and that's a big if Daniel was crazy enough to pop up at another work event of mine, and this time crazy enough to talk to my he would have already been in violation of the restraining order we'd have been on, and Lawrence wouldn't have been trying to hear nothing he was saying, because as far as Lawrence was be concerned, this the ranting and ravings of a madman, you hear me? To this day, I know what Issa admit to that shit when Lawrence asked her for. She could have beat them charges, dog. That man ain't had no evidence.
Did you fuck him?
What? Why would you ask me that?
Because I am. Did you fuck him?
There's no way out of this one.
You fucked that nigga?
You could have tell that up until that point, Issa had never conceived of a reality where Lawrence could have catch her, so she really didn't know whether or not she wanted to confess or not. So as this man asking a question, she's standing there stuck dumb. Don't know what she's supposed to be doing. Like, girl, speak. Her head can't be no good, because the way I would have taken a page right out of the Derwin Davis cheating nigga handbook.
You had me up in her face asking her for an autograph, looking like a damn fool. Yet this whole time you were sleeping with her?
See, Mel, ain't nobody say anything about sleeping with nobody, baby. I just kissed her.
Oh, you just kissed her, Derwin. You looked me in the face right now and tell me you didn't sleep with her.
Melly.
Did you sleep with her, Derwin?
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
But I'm getting off topic again. This is not an Issa and Lawrence video. Back to Daniel. Now here's my thing. What the is Daniel problem? Does it even make sense why he was running around like a scorned trying to break Issa and Lawrence up? No. Messy, entitled, and goofy. Cause what make you think, cause you grind that woman you wanna go together now, that you get to run down on her job and work parties to snitch to her and thing?
I just wanted to look you in the eye and ask you why you would treat me like I'm some random ass nigga.
You were just an itch I needed to scratch. Daniel, you knew I had a
Are you trying to blame me for what you did? You're not a victim, Issa.
being real loud right now.
It happened kind of fast, but why you acting like it wasn't something?
Okay, yeah, it happened, but I was confused. And you've been texting me and pressing me all hard.
Really?
We will be raised. Oh my God, what part of the game is this? And to show Daniel a little bit, he didn't outright tell Lawrence. Lawrence got suspicious and put 2 and 2 together. But he wouldn't have been able to do that if Daniel wasn't hell-bent on forcing things between him and Issa and showed up at the gal's work party to confront her for treating him like the random he was.
Really?
What's your connection that we got, y'all?
And listen, I love Daniel, I love Daniel. So I want to feel for Daniel. I really do. Because clearly he feels strongly about Issa and his feelings are very hurt. But realistically, what the did he think was gonna happen?
So the last time I saw each other, that was episode 7.
Oh, you mean when she had a rusty spoon and put it into his heart and turned it and like just killed him? All right,
Just basically when he showed up to the thing that she was clearly planning and working on for months, where her boyfriend and her friends were there. That's the same party, right? We're talking about the same thing.
Oh no, I mean the party when like she hadn't taken accountability for a couple weeks, so he decided that he would like just remind her that there was a history involved. That part.
And mind you, Elon Noel be making compelling ass cases for Daniel. But no, baby. How Daniel gonna think he was gonna grind somebody else gal and God was gonna reward him is beyond me. No, sir. Paying for everybody. Now, this is the thing. Season 1, Daniel could not play his position to save his life and was moving like the craziest of crazy on the low. It just didn't look as crazy as it was because he's so fine. But trust me, he was wildin'. But season 2 Daniel, even finer than season 1 Daniel, and he consistently came through for Issa whenever she needed him. Even with them not ending off on good terms. She got into a car accident, she called Daniel and my mom pull up immediately. Here's where shit started going awry for Daniel and Issa again. It's time to talk about Headgate. There used to be this thing in 90s and early 2000s black media where they would always say that black women don't like giving head. But I have never known that to be a real thing in real life during my lifetime. So color me and everyone else shocked when Issa D childish ass was anti-giving head, and it was a whole little storyline that eventually ends with Issa deciding to give Daniel head. Hard to imagine what drama could come of this. But child, tell me why. She giving Daniel head, and when he starts to my girl panics that he's gonna him out, so she pulls away as he's and some of the gets an eye. But if you let Issa tell it, what actually happened was my reached back in his pocket and pulled out a Glock and shot her in the eye. My girl was holding her eye like she was blind as she cuts his ass out and got a lift. Now, let me say this. Initially, When I first watched this, I and most other people felt like Issa was just being a drama queen because it really didn't come across like something Daniel did on purpose to degrade her like she was suggesting. It truly felt like she was reaching. However, and that's a big however, when Issa and Daniel next talk and she basically asked him why he would degrade her like that, this said something along the lines of, well, now you know how it feels. Like he either did come in her face intentionally to degrade her as revenge for not dumping her boyfriend for him, or it was unintentional, but he still got some perverse joy in her feeling degraded by it because he felt she deserved it because Daniel Nutass has somehow cooked up some scenario in his head where he's a victim and Issa did him dirty because he thought he was entitled to a relationship with her because they slept together. This is the moment that got me to remember to look past how fine Daniel was and to clock that the serious red flags we saw from him in season 1 were real and still present in season 2. Mind you, Daniel does really like Issa. He does really want to be with her, and he does show up for her when she needs him. But the problem is that he feels entitled to being with Issa, and so anything he does for her breeds more entitlement and resentment, and he lashes out when he doesn't get his way. So Issa rightfully cusses Daniel's ass out after he suggests he came in her face so she could know how he feels, and she cuts him off. But when she loses her apartment because she could no longer afford it, it's Daniel, not any of her friends, it's Daniel who she calls for a place to stay, and he lets her move in with him. And Daniel would have gotten a lot of credit for that. But this is Daniel we talking about. Y'all know how he go. Even though he's opened his home to earn her time of need, it's because he wants to be with her. And because Issa still doesn't want to be with him, this man starts gals as loud as humanly possible in the crib to intentionally upset Issa and make her uncomfortable. Because he is petty, entitled, and passive-aggressive like that. But make no mistake about it. Just because Daniel is petty does not mean he's crazy. Issa is in fact using him, taking advantage of him, and playing in his face.
Oh, I don't think we should do this. No, I just think we know better.
I'm confused, Issa. At all the places that you could have stayed, you stayed with me.
Yeah, I did, but not for this.
All right, but isn't it always this? And you was just low-key dropping hints about me fucking somebody else.
Oh, I don't care who you fuck. I just want a heads up so I don't have to be here.
Why are you here?
Because I needed a place to stay. And you're close to work. I thought I was staying here as a friend. And, you know, we always at least had that.
Yeah.
She and his man ain't never been friends. Talking about I thought I was staying there as a friend. We at least always had that. Had what, bitch, where?
Bitch, where?
You used to date that man in high school and ain't talked to him for years until you was ready to cheat on your with him. Then you got some dick, dropped him like a bad habit. But every time you get an opportunity to lean on him or flirt up in his face strictly when it's convenient for you, you do that. Issa knows that the reason she can call on Daniel for help in her time of need is because he has strong feelings for her. She knows that and she likes that. That's why she chose to call him over her friends, because she knows the kind of benefits that come along with his feelings. Issa knows how bad that man wants her and she knows that she doesn't want him. Unfortunately for Daniel, for Issa, Daniel is that you don't think about till you see him out and you remember, oh right, that's right, he looked dead good. And y'all have chemistry and you like having him on your roster and the intensity with which he takes y'all situationship. But you ain't on his run for real. You just like to look in his eyes like you are. Like Issa told him, he was just an itch he needed to scratch. Think about it. Throughout Issa and Daniel's entire relationship, the best they ever get along, the most chemistry you ever see from them is when they out, when she buck him when they out. Mind you, I did ultimately really like the chemistry between Issa and Daniel, so I am not gonna sit up here and act like I was not invested or hoping that Issa would finally stop playing with my minds and give him a chance, because trust me, Daniel would have had my attention, you hear me? Which I think is ultimately the issue that both Daniel and fans had with Issa. We couldn't understand why she ain't with him. From everyone's perspective, Issa was miserable in her relationship with Lawrence, a man who wasn't working, wasn't helping her financially or emotionally, and they never seemed to have too much in common. And then here comes Daniel, this fine ass she had history with, she had more chemistry with, she had more in common with, and who she clearly wanted so bad she had to cheat on Lawrence with him. So it just wasn't making sense to folk why, when she got the added surprise bonus of Daniel having real feelings for her, wanting to be with her and being someone she could depend on, she was not interested and refused to give them a real shot. This shit just wasn't making sense to us. But the reality is this: Issa did not owe that man her love, and she told him explicitly what it was several times. He just didn't want to accept it for what it was. Daniel was being a very Carrie Bradshaw ass we keep it a buck. And to be a little fair to Issa, by season 3, she did start trying to come around to the idea of Daniel while they were living together. But just as she started trying to really feel him, she stumbled on his insecurities about his music career. And when he lashed out on her trying to help, she was just kind of over it. And that was pretty much the end for them. And although I do understand why Issa decided to stop trying to make fetch happen, I also understood exactly why Daniel lashed out, especially after hearing the actor who played Daniel explain it.
I think what's so interesting too about Daniel is there's these two sides of Daniel that exist, which are the side that Daniel, and I think that's all of us with our insecurities, show one side of us and then show what we're really thinking. And I think episode 2, Daniel goes, he kind of has a moment with Khalil and he says, I got good, but Khalil got famous. I think with Issa in the scene in the restaurant, he basically says, we're all cool and all that's fine, but at the end of the day, who are you to judge me on your career? You're basically a mess and I have to always save you. And I think that was such a great moment to understand, oh, maybe this is why they theoretically would not work as a couple, because in some way he always sees her as a certain way.
Honestly, I don't feel like he really felt that he sees her as a mess or that he was trying to save her. I just think in that moment, what he needed her to be was sort of what he's been for her, which is a support, you know, and especially in that particular moment, given the circumstances and the frustrations around that moment, he wanted her to sort of be able to do what, you know, what he's been able to do for her, which is like say, you know, I think that just to hear him out a little bit more.
Season 3 was Daniel's final season, but I ain't gonna lie, I still expected my boy to show up in the final season because I just knew my girl Issa was gonna throw a lifeline when she finally started becoming a successful music event person or whatever she was doing. In my mind, Daniel did give our girl a place to live when no one else did, so you would think when she finally got on, she might give her brother a call, but no. This was our last moment with Daniel.
Good.
Yeah. Jane, you know I appreciate you for everything.
You gotta do all that.
That is all the closure we got. And even though I wanted more from Daniel, this ending made sense for the character and the relationship. It's actually more closure than most of our ill-fated situationships ever get. All in all, as much as I do still love me some Daniel, and I think he was one of Issa's better matches, he wasn't perfect. He was petty, entitled, and a little vengeful if we keep it a being. And to be fair to him, Issa certainly wasn't no peach on the beach. My girl was a cheater whose shit was all over the place and who never wanted anything serious with him or really respected his feelings, but took advantage of those feelings to call on him whenever she needed help. Theoretically, Daniel and Issa made a lot of sense together. They had a lot in common, especially their love of music. And whatever his faults, Daniel did really care about Issa. I think that had they started their relationship under different circumstances, it might have gone somewhere. But the resentment Issa had for Daniel because she lost Lawrence over him, combined with the resentment Daniel had for Issa for never choosing him over Lawrence, was too much for the relationship to overcome. Those two were doomed, you hear me? And while our boy Daniel didn't die, I really miss my So run the song one time for the one time, Aaron.
I really miss my nigga. I really miss my nigga. White people you can sing it to, just change that N to a W. Miss my wigger.
Y'all should subscribe to the Patreon. I put, for the people who want to hear me doing all my cursing, we put the uncensored versions of every recap on the Patreon. So do that.